It all began in the small coastal town of Cebu, Philippines. Life was never easy for Maria and her 10-year-old daughter, Angel. Maria worked as a street food vendor, selling fried bananas and fish balls near the pier. Every morning, before the sun rose, she would walk with Angel down the narrow alleyways, carrying her small cart. Their clothes were simple, sometimes worn out, but their hearts were filled with music. Angel was different from other children. She didn't have toys or fancy things, but she had something rare, a voice that could melt even the hardest heart. From the time she was little, she sang while helping her mother cook, wash, and even while sweeping the small wooden floor of their tiny home. Her voice was pure and filled with emotion, like it carried every dream her mother ever had but couldn't reach. Maria always believed that music was a gift from God. She had once dreamed of becoming a singer herself, but life took her in another direction. She never got to perform on a stage, never held a microphone in front of an audience. But when she heard Angel sing, she felt that maybe, just maybe, her dreams were meant to live through her daughter. Every night, after a long day of work, they would sit outside their small shack. The salty breeze from the sea carried the sound of Angel's voice through the dark. Neighbors would stop and listen. Sometimes, they'd even applaud, saying, "Maria, your daughter will be famous one day." Maria would smile softly, but deep inside, she wondered if such a thing could ever come true for people like them, poor, unknown, living from meal to meal. One day, something unexpected happened. A tourist couple from America, visiting Cebu, stopped by Maria's stall. They heard Angel singing as she helped her mother and were stunned. The woman recorded a short clip on her phone and uploaded it to social media, captioning it, "The voice of an angel in Cebu." Within days, the video went viral. Millions of people watched as the little girl with no shoes and a big heart sang her soul out in the streets. A few weeks later, Maria received an email she could hardly believe. It was from a talent scout connected to America's Got Talent. They had seen the video and wanted to invite Angel to audition. Maria thought it was a scam at first. How could something like that happen to them? But when a producer called and explained everything, she broke down crying. Angel, standing beside her, didn't fully understand what was happening. She just hugged her mother and said, "Mama, I will sing for you." The journey to America was something neither of them had ever imagined. They had never been on an airplane before. The night before their flight, Maria couldn't sleep. She looked at her daughter, peacefully resting, and whispered, "You're my miracle, my little angel. No matter what happens, I'm proud of you." When they arrived in Los Angeles, everything felt like a dream. The city lights, the tall buildings, the sound of traffic, it was a world so far from their simple life back home. They stayed in a small hotel provided by the show. The next morning, they were taken to the AGT studio. The place buzzed with excitement, cameras, lights, people from all over the world. Angel held her mother's hand tightly. Her small fingers trembled, but Maria bent down and whispered, "Just close your eyes and sing like you do at home." Angel nodded. When it was their turn to go on stage, the massive doors opened, revealing the bright AGT stage. The audience clapped as the two stepped in, a humble mother and daughter, dressed simply but radiating warmth. Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Howie Mandel, and Sofia Vergara sat at the judges' table. Simon leaned forward, curious. Simon asked gently, "What's your name?" Angel replied, softly, "My name is Angel, and this is my mama, Maria." Simon smiled. "And where are you from?" "We're from the Philippines," Maria said, her accent clear but her voice steady. "We came here to share our story, and our song." The crowd cheered. Simon nodded. "All right then, let's hear it." The music started, a soft piano version of "You Raise Me Up." Angel closed her eyes and began to sing. Her voice, delicate and filled with emotion, filled the theater. It wasn't just powerful, it was pure. Every note carried the weight of their struggles, every word spoke of love, sacrifice, and faith. The audience fell silent, mesmerized. Halfway through the song, Maria joined in. Her voice was lower, gentle, blending beautifully with her daughter's. Together, they created something extraordinary, not just a duet, but a bond expressed through music. Even Simon, known for his tough critiques, was visibly moved. When the song ended, the audience erupted in applause. People stood, clapping and cheering. Tears rolled down the faces of many in the crowd. Heidi Klum placed her hand over her heart. Sophia whispered, "That was beautiful." Simon leaned forward, looking emotional but trying to hide it. That, he said slowly, was one of the most beautiful moments we've ever had on this show. Angel started to cry, holding her mother's hand. Maria, too, was trembling, not from fear, but from disbelief. Simon looked at them for a moment longer, then smiled. You know what, you came here all the way from the Philippines. You sang not just with talent, but with heart and soul. And this deserves something special. He pressed the golden buzzer. Golden confetti exploded from above, covering the stage. Angel gasped as the audience roared. Maria fell to her knees, crying. Simon stood up and walked onto the stage, shaking their hands. You both are amazing, he said. That was real. That was pure. The world needs to see more of this. Backstage, other contestants hugged them. The producers were emotional too. The clip of their performance spread across the internet like wildfire. In less than 24 hours, it reached millions of views. People around the world commented, saying how their song reminded them of the love between mothers and children, of sacrifices, and of never giving up. News outlets from different countries began sharing their story. Headlines read, Filipino mother-daughter duo melts Simon Cowell's heart, and golden buzzer for love and hope. Even celebrities tweeted about them. For Maria and Angel, it was overwhelming. They were just simple people who came to sing, and suddenly, the whole world was watching. In the following weeks, they prepared for the live shows. The producers arranged vocal coaching and stage practice. Angel was excited, but she always said, Mama, I don't want to win, I just want to make you proud. Those words melted everyone's heart. During rehearsals, Simon visited them. He said, You two remind me why I started doing this show, to find stories that inspire people. Maria smiled humbly and said, Thank you, sir. We're just thankful to sing. When the live show night arrived, the theater was packed. The stage was bigger, brighter, and more intimidating. Angel and Maria stood hand in hand once more. This time, they performed the prayer. From the first note, it was magical. Angel's young voice soared, hitting notes that seemed impossible for her age, while Maria's deeper tone grounded it with warmth and grace. The harmony between them was flawless. When they finished, the crowd gave them a standing ovation that lasted nearly a minute. Simon stood up again and clapped. You've just made millions of people cry tonight, he said. There's something divine in what you two do. It's not just music, it's a message of love. Even though they didn't win the entire competition, they became one of the most memorable acts in AGT history. Invitations poured in, talk shows, concerts, charity events. But Maria refused to let fame change who they were. They returned home to the Philippines, where thousands greeted them at the airport. Angel couldn't believe it. Reporters surrounded them, calling her the little angel of Cebu. Back home, life slowly changed. With the money they earned from appearances and donations, Maria built a small music school in their town, Angel's Voice Academy. It was for children who couldn't afford lessons, just like Angel once couldn't. Music should belong to everyone, Maria said in an interview. Angel became a national hero, appearing in local shows and inspiring countless kids. She said, I want to help other children sing. Everyone has a song inside, they just need someone to listen. Simon Cowell himself sent a personal message on their school's opening day. He said, What you did on our stage was unforgettable. But what you're doing now is even greater, using your gift to inspire others. The world needs more people like you. Years later, when Angel turned 16, she was invited again to perform as a guest on AGT, The Champions. The producers wanted to bring back the most memorable performers. When she walked on stage, the audience recognized her instantly. She smiled, this time more confident, her mother watching proudly from backstage. Simon said, When you first came here, you were a little girl with a huge heart. Now you're a young woman, but that same heart still shines through. Angel sang, You'll Never Walk Alone. Her performance brought the house down. By the end of the song, people were crying again. Simon stood, tears in his eyes, and said, You represent everything that is good in this world. After the show, Angel met fans, took pictures, and thanked everyone who had believed in her. She told a reporter, I'm here because of my mom. She gave up everything so I could dream. This golden buzzer wasn't just mine, it was ours. Maria, standing nearby, whispered, Dreams don't die. They just wait for the right voice to sing them. Their story became the subject of a documentary that streamed worldwide, showing their humble beginnings, the struggles they faced, and the power of a mother's love. Millions of people were inspired to believe again in kindness, perseverance, and hope. Angel and Maria continued to perform, but they never forgot where they came from. Every Sunday, they sang at their local church, thanking God for the blessings they had received. Sometimes, they would visit hospitals and sing for sick children, bringing smiles where there were once tears. In one of her later interviews, Angel said something that resonated deeply with everyone: "You don't need money to be rich. You just need love, and the courage to share it." Her words became a quote that circulated online, painted on murals, and even printed on shirts. She had become more than a singer, she was a symbol of hope. Years passed, but people never forgot that moment on AGT, the moment when a poor mother and her little girl, barefoot and nervous, stood on one of the biggest stages in the world and reminded everyone what true beauty sounds like. Maria often said, that golden buzzer was not just gold. It was the sound of our prayers being answered. And every time Angel sang after that, she carried not just her own dream but the dreams of every child who ever thought they were too small, too poor, or too forgotten to shine. So when people talk about that golden buzzer moment, they don't just remember the confetti or the applause. They remember the look on Simon Cowell's face, the disbelief, the admiration, the tears he tried to hide. Because in that moment, even he knew he had witnessed something rare, the kind of performance that comes once in a lifetime. And so, from a small pier in Cebu to the grand stage of America's Got Talent, the journey of Maria and Angel became a legend, a story told to remind us all that no matter where you come from, love and faith can carry your voice farther than you ever imagined. This was not just about a golden buzzer. It was about a mother's love, a daughter's dream, and a world that listened. Because sometimes, all it takes to change everything, is one song. And that song, sung by a Filipino mother and daughter, will echo in the hearts of millions forever.